So how do I see if people can hear me? If I unmute, this is the part that will be cut out later.
So how do I see if people can...
Now I can hear myself, so I'll just turn that right off. So what we're doing today, so I've started modeling BoJack's house in Blender. First time streaming. We'll see if this becomes a regular thing. I think it'd be fun to hang out and answer questions and show off my process a little bit. So all I'm trying to do is get a little better at architectural visualization by actually modeling out just a pretty simple room. It's really just a rectangle and some windows and some furniture that I'm going to download, but I figured why not do BoJack's house. So I found a few reference images. This one is sort of the sitcom shot that just shows the windows and gives a pretty good layout of the room, where the TV is, where this other door is. And then I have a top view that someone put together. Now I wish I could credit the author, but I don't actually remember. It's one of the first results if you just Google BoJack Horseman floor plan, something like that. And it has measurements that I think are in, I think that, well, they're in metric. It has meters squared. And then these numbers are, not centimeters, decimeters or something. Like they weren't meters, which I thought was weird. I thought they'd be point stuff. That one says centimeters. Like some are labeled, some aren't. I don't know if it's actually correct proportions or not, but it's definitely a starting point. And I'm not trying to make it perfect. I just want it to look like a realistic room. That's really my only goal. I don't even need it to be recognizable as BoJack's house, although that would be cool too. So far, all I've done is used an add-on to put in the walls. What's the name of this add-on? I always forget. It's like Arca Mesh, I think, which I heard about from Andrew Price's tutorial. Intro to Photorealism or something. Yeah, there it is, Arca Mesh. And so it's just an easy way to like set up the thickness of the walls and the little bevel down here at the bottom, the baseboard. Just gets all that stuff in place. And then there's probably a way to kind of apply that, and then I'll be able to edit it in my own way. And if how do I like refresh this? Because it has this ability to put in windows and then it'll automatically cut a hole there. Auto holes. Yeah, I have to turn that back on again. And I've run into a problem where the window height isn't able to go all the way to the top like the way I want. And I can't figure out how to get the back wall to not be shown. I want to be able to see through that without, in solid view, I just see the outside of the wall because the camera is out here. These perspectives don't really match up, especially the camera view. I don't think this is a physically possible framing, because if you look at this angle, it looks like the camera is tilted down a little bit, but then this back wall is perfectly rectangular. These are perfectly perpendicular to each other, and this wall and this wall are parallel. As far as I can tell, there's like no perspective on that, which tells me that the camera isn't pointed down, it's pointed perpendicular to this entire wall. So these are the problems that I'm trying to solve. I can try to mess with the focal length more as this gets more extreme. Like the perspective never really seems to line up, even if I make it very, very wide, like impossibly wide. This line is still not lining up with that. So before I do anything too crazy, I want to try the Blam plugin or add-on, because I think that will solve, well, at least give me a better, instead of just guessing, it'll tell me if this is actually a physically impossible shot or not. That's user preferences. And I know that BoJack's house has been built in 3D because the intro has it with parallax kind of going by. So maybe I should use a shot from the intro. I have to download Blam from somewhere. So they've obviously done it in 3D. There's no reason they couldn't have it be physically accurate. But it's a cartoon, so they can do what they want. So Blam Blender, I guess I need to be more specific. A camera projector calibration toolkit. So hopefully this is really easy to download. I think yeah. Download as a zip because Blender can just read the zip, and then I just use the 3D objects folder. In Windows, it comes with a 3D objects folder, which I think is weird. Not everybody needs, like everybody needs photos and documents, but not everybody needs 3D objects, but they just go ahead and do it. Tutorial, I guess. I don't want to make all you guys. Instructional video. Okay. question. I just was not listening, paying attention. Okay, user preferences, add-ons, install from file, 3D objects, that's next to documents, right? Blam Master. Did that do it? Did that not work? What add-on? Oh, wait. Modules installed. Okay, it says installed, but I don't see it here. Bull Master. No. I guess I'll see if it worked over here. I have Gaffer ready. Gaffer's great, by the way, if you don't have Gaffer. Roller Protractor Physics. I might just need to restart it, so let's see. I don't know if that's the same as restarting. I didn't think you usually needed to restart for stuff like that, but Grease Pencil still doesn't have anything in it. Sorry, I don't know the user preferences thing. I've been using this on Mac for so long that I know it's Control comma on that, I think, but now I'm on Windows, I gotta get used to that. So, okay, documents up, 3D objects. It didn't say it didn't work. Modules installed empty, empty parentheses. It has a green border, so that seems promising. What am I missing? Okay, I'm not gonna bore you with Blam anymore, but just know that it probably works great. I just can't get it to install, and that's my problem. I'm not gonna contradict Blender Guru on that. I'm still going with the assumption that this isn't physically possible. And okay, so if I'm gonna get more windows going here, what I need to do is duplicate all 3 of these objects and then put that up there basically. And then using the add-on, which is in the end panel, I guess, I can change the height of this window, I think. Where do I do that? Backface calling. Okay, this. So I'm just gonna make that shorter. No, that's that. And see, this is why I want to actually model it, because I'm not doing it really correctly. The width of this door isn't the same as this thing, and if I actually model it out, then I know that it will be. What's the width of this door? I can do better than that. First window width, second window width, 129. Oh, okay, so 130 plus 130 is 260, so the width of this thing needs to be 260. No, that's the height, which that's a whole nother calculation. 260. Okay. Grab. Oh no, not the window key. Never that. No. Let's see if I can get this a little better. Again, I'm just trying to get the basics in here first, because I haven't actually done a full render yet. Oh, I didn't get the little empty controller part. Shift D, X, move it over there. I just want to get, like, does the lighting even work at all type questions out of the way before I get too nuts on that. I want to go re-render that stuff, but now at this point, if I select the walls and hit, where is it? Update Gaffer, okay, yeah, that's fine. So I'm gonna need Gaffer for this. Gaffer is a plugin that gets all your lights into one panel, all the lighting controls in one place, and also has built-in HDRI, like all the stuff that you would do in the node editor and would take a long time, it just sets all that up for you and puts it all in one interface. It's really nice. Do I not have the right wall selected? I have this room over here. Physics, animation, relations, create. Scroll down and create auto holes. Okay, so now I have the basic out structure of the room, that this is essentially open, but it has a few, barriers to the light. It looks a little kooky right now that things don't line up. But I'm curious what the rendered setup will look like, and it just looks like my HDRI isn't loaded in right. It's still downloading something. Okay, so if the only one I have set up is Studio Small. I definitely have more than that. I downloaded more than that. Where are these kept? Hang on. It's downloading 1 out of 198. So when you download the Gaffer plugin, it has this button that downloads a bunch of free HDRIs from, I don't want to get this wrong, hdrihaven.com. That's great. I love that it does that, but I didn't do it ahead of time, so now I have to wait for it. I can stop it by closing Blender. I just want to remember where these are actually kept. Let's see. Oh, that looks awful. If I do a search for Gaffer, it'll tell me where to actually find this stuff. 3D objects, HDRI. Okay. It's here, 3D objects, HDRI. So yeah, why does it only? I downloaded these other ones. Refresh. Okay, found 3 HD. Okay. So I just had to hit refresh, and now it's missing the thumbnail, which, I understand it needs a small little 128 by whatever to stick in here. And it should be able to generate 3 thumbnails pretty quickly, so I'll just let that happen. The point being, I downloaded some kind of sunset, late afternoon shots that sort of look like the intro to BoJack and could stand in for the Hollywood Hills outside the window. And I can see how the lighting plays around inside here. I'm trying to get something of high enough quality that it could be a photorealistic background for like a green screen interview. If somebody is interviewed on a green screen, you can either put like black or white or something abstract behind them, or you could put a photorealistic image behind them, and then it'll look like you shot it on location in their house or wherever. But the problem with a still image as a background is then if there's anything that should be moving back there, it won't be moving, like trees rustling or water, waves on a beach, whatever it is. It'll just be very static, and that can give away the illusion. It's usually not that distracting, but if you're looking for it, it's like, oh, they just stuck an image back there. This is taking longer than I wanted. Luckily I didn't do that much work in Blender, so I won't be too upset if I lose it. All we did was a few dead ends together. I still hope it doesn't crash though. That would be really nice. I think that this HDRI thing just totally takes over Blender while it's generating the thumbnails. The only way to stop this process once you start it is to forcibly close Blender. But I want the thumbnails. I want to know what I'm choosing, so I don't know. Sorry to put you through this. And I wonder if it's still trying to download all 200 of those things or not. I'm not sure that I need 200 of them right now. That's why I kind of cherry-picked the ones that would be useful to me. And I wanted a studio light one too. That was the one that was pre-loaded in there when we started, because that's helpful for individual objects to kind of have a studio lighting set up if you're rendering like a statue that you sculpted or something like that, it's nice to put it outdoors, like I was saying with the Hollywood Hills, but it would also be nice to have an indoor, very controlled setup without having to actually set it up in Blender and get all those high quality shadows for free. That would be great. Let's see, is it about time to call it on this one? Let's Control-Alt-Delete, see, what are you doing? It says not responding up here, but it's still working hard. Like, it's not like it's doing nothing and not responding. It is working hard. I just don't remember it taking this long. Like, I think I did the thumbnails for all of those at one point, and it didn't take as long as that did. That was a nicer computer. That was on a Mac Pro, not a Lenovo Yoga 710 or whatever this is called. Let's try it again. So, okay, can I stop downloading? You can stop this at any time by closing Blender. Okay, maybe I don't need thumbnails. Maybe I can avoid that by just maybe having it on rendered view didn't help my cause here. Yeah, and the camera is outside. Okay, so how do I refresh this? And tag, oh, okay, it figured it out. Or not. Advanced. Show a high-res JPEG background. I wish I knew more about my own things. Oh, okay, it is figuring it out. So that's a lighting. That's one lighting. And let's see what these windows are doing. From here, they just look 100% reflective. But if I move the camera inside, can I get inside? Okay, so 0, 7. Okay, I'm gonna try something else. I'm just gonna put the camera right inside here and then mess with the focal length to try to get it at 12 millimeter, 13 millimeter. I guess that's possible, but it's very extremely wide, which I guess the shot would have to be. Maybe save. And then just, is it working? Is it completely black inside here? What's going on? It seems to be completely black inside the house, which tells me maybe the windows aren't cut out. It kind of seems like they are. Auto holes. Oh, hey, the couch looks alright there. Kind of a big texture. So why is this so bad? It has windows cut. Why would it look like that? Let's see what materials. PVC, plastic, glass, marble. I can't really select them. I think they're like linked from a library, sort of. Caused a little spasm there in Blender. Save before it crashes. Not responding. Why? I just clicked on it. Maybe streaming and blending at the same time is too much for this little guy. Yeah, all of these are just coming out black. Are these materials not set up for cycles? Surface, no output node, displacement, no output node. I would think this Archimesh would have to be ready for cycles. If I just hide these, okay, let's try this out, and then go to the camera view. So now there's no physical object in between there, it's just making the hole. If I start to render that, yeah, see, this is the kind of basic test that I was very curious about. missing a thumbnail still. But if I render from out here, I thought it looked fine. Yeah. Why would that be? But I still can't see the couch through here. Oh, okay. So the boxes that are doing the Boolean stuff are still showing up? Why would that be? That's not what I want. Auto holes. I'm supposed to make holes here. And maybe I'm seeing this wrong, but it seems like those things are still control hole 1. Okay, so it's not showing up, it's not supposed to show up in the render, but even in the rendered view, things with that camera unselected still do show up, because this isn't a full render, this is just viewing like a render. Ah, okay, now we're talking. So all I have to do is find all these control holes. Aha, we're getting somewhere. Control hole 4. Oh, the whole window group is invisible. And this is why I want to just render it, then I wouldn't have to, I don't know. Plugins, just in general, plugins are great because they are very helpful, but also they take away the control. But if you don't know how to use the helpful tool, it can kind of stand in your way and stuff like this. I had to go digging in and figure this out, but if I had just modeled it in the first place, wouldn't have had the problem. Okay, so now here's an example. Here's a counterexample of a plugin being great, is this Gaffer plugin. The sun isn't in the right position. The sun sort of sets over on this side of BoJack's house. And if I was doing this in the nodes, in the material nodes down here, which I hope, yeah, see, this is great. It actually has the node set up here, I think. Back facing, wait, I don't actually know what this is. World node, yeah, this is it, okay. So I would have to go all the way into here and find the rotation, and then like, which one do I want to rotate around? Z, I guess? Is that the right one? It's not working because it's muted. I don't want to mess it up actually, but it's just right here in the interface, and so I can just slide this thing over, and like obviously I want an HDRI to rotate around the horizon. I wouldn't want the land to be on the left side or anything, you know, that this entire node has everything you could ever want, and this just puts, maybe I want to up the brightness, maybe I want to up the saturation. All of these things are in a row ready to go without me having to Shift A and find them and drop them all into the chain and mute them in case I want them. All that tedious stuff is already taken care of, and everything is simplified down to one little panel. All that to say, it's great because I'm lazy. So this lighting is looking better. The sun might be a little too low for me because this is, it looks like this picture is at sea level or a little bit above, and so the sun can be just right at the horizon. But BoJack's house, maybe I should try to find another reference here. I'm trying to remember where the sun comes up and sets on his house. It's all in the intro. Images. Maybe there will be some stills from the intro here. It's like the title card really shows the sun, if I remember. I'm not seeing it now. I see the moon on her house. And again, it's a cartoon, so it doesn't always have realistic shadows, and this is the stuff that I sort of want to figure out. Let's see. If I search for title scene, maybe? Something is still chugging away in the background. Okay, so there it is. So this shows the sun, oh, okay, on the back side. So that wouldn't be showing in those windows at all. But I think the sun rises like on the side closest to us. It's hard to like point. If the sun is setting on that back side of the house, then I think it would rise on the side closest to the camera. Oh, so here's an actual image. So okay, so this side of the pool is off the cliff and the house is on this side. So that's showing me that yeah, the sunlight does at some point ever point in that direction. That's good. That's almost what I want. I want walking through the house. Okay, here's a nice picture. The sun is on the right side of his bedroom, which I think is facing the same way as the rest of the house. I don't actually know that. This is more like it. Doesn't have any shadows though, and the sun isn't in the shot, so doesn't really help me right now. What else? Okay, I think that's about all I'm going to get from that. Let me see what the other... I have Cape Hill also loaded in. I think this might have a little bit higher of a sun position. Is Cape Hill what I was already using? I think that looks a little better. It's hard to tell, it's so grainy still, but I don't know, I don't remember it being that orange, so maybe I can up the brightness a little bit and turn down the saturation and warmth just a little bit. I think the angle of the sun being a little above the horizon helps with this. I'll save. The actual background image, I'll probably get a picture of the Hollywood sign and then just like use Photoshop to erase the D. I think that, okay, so this shows kind of what his view is. Oh, I can't select any of the windows now. Okay. I think what I'll do now is search for more of the furniture. If I go to the top view, I can place it pretty well. So I need another seat that's kind of the same as this, which I'll probably just break that out and put that over there. I need like a TV stand, which I can take a look at. I need an ottoman, a little coffee table. I'll need to change the legs of this chair. And you can see the chair doesn't line up in this image, but it does on the top image. That's just, it's a little inconsistent. The chair, I'm pretty sure I can build from the couch. I'll need a pillow, but that's pretty easy to just model. I'll try to find an ottoman that'll work. That'll be fun. Blend swap is my go-to. See, is anybody actually watching? Hi, Bruce Jensen. Sorry I didn't check on you sooner. Don't know if you're still here, but thanks for tuning in. I'll try to remember to check back once in a while now that I know anyone is watching. Let's go for blend swap. And okay, so annoying thing about this website, you have to log in first before you can search. Well, you can search, but then in order to download, you have to log in and then you lose where you were. And I don't want to log in on camera, so I'll have to start up my password manager. None of these ottomans really work for me. Like, I could probably just swap this one in. Let's see. Compare that to, I mean, it doesn't look the same, but I think it's a similar style. Task manager anymore. I might just want to render that ottoman myself. Let's try the TV stand. Entertainment center. So okay, at least I can get a TV. Samsung 32-inch LED. It's not like anyone remembers what his TV looks like, but it has kind of a circular base. Wow, that whole loft. Like, some of these are really nice. Why is there a Pokeball here? Like, why is there... People just cram tags in, hoping that they'll download their free models. For what purpose, I ask you? I almost like the base of that one, but I don't like the actual curved TV. I might just download one of those first TVs I saw. Oh, that's like almost a good base for it. I guess that wouldn't be super hard to just model out. I'm trying to save myself as much work as possible because I know that I'm lazy, and if I have to do every step, I'll just give up eventually. But I can download the TV, like maybe this one. Why does it have a not safe thing on it? Maybe this one. I don't want the one with a warning on it. I don't really want a CC BY though. I want a CC 0 if possible. I don't want to give any credit. Cycles materials, no textures, no UVs. That's fine. I don't really like the bevel on it. That seems too round. Like, I don't... Samsung 32-inch LED TV. It says Samsung on it, but it doesn't really look that realistic to me. I'm kind of surprised that's in here. That's like a wall-mounted one. Does he have any extra speakers and stuff? No. Yeah, this is kind of an old TV, actually. It kind of has a really thick border. I'm guessing I should just model all of this. The more I look at it, the more I'm like, yeah, that's just rectangles. I can just throw that together. Alright, maybe I'll just try it. So let's get the cursor about where I want it. Right about here, right? 0. Yeah, they don't match up, but I think that's... Yeah, if I'm actually looking at it, that seems like what I want. So Shift A, let's start with a cube, and tab into edit mode, scale X, I'll start like that, and get it about 16 by 9, like roughly. Get pretty thin here, and then that whole thing might be a little too big. That looks like about the right size. And I want to get closer to it. There we go. I'm actually editing it. And all I want is to grab this front face. Hello. Front face and inset just a little bit, and then extrude that back just a little bit. And I'll set the interior material to be something else. Plastic. So I'll put that on the whole thing and then add a new material. Let's see. Can I just duplicate plastic? See, I don't know. I don't want to use unable to remove slot in edit mode. I don't think I want to use the plastic because I don't think that works with cycles super well, so I'll just add a new material that's just diffuse, mostly black for now. And I'll name that just diffuse black, not Sif black. And I'll make a new material that is kind of glossy, but very rough. And then in object mode, I'll place the TV where it needs to be. 7, 5. Can I? Uh-oh. Save. Save before it crashes. Why did it crash now? Save over, whatever. Yes, save it. Okay. Top view, no perspective. Can't get rid of the perspective. Why? Why are you like this? Oh no. What is going on? I just want to move a box around. I'm not even rendering. Oh, hey, yeah, Bruce Jensen. I remember the Angry Chicken. That was a fun time. I should stop by there again. I also went to the Lehigh has a not a 3D like printing like you guys have, but 3D VR setup, and it was cool. They had like 5 or 6 really big TV screens around the room, kind of curved around the center point where the person was, so that some other people watching could sort of get the experience that the person with the headset was. And so that was fun to visit them, and it seemed like they weren't quite sure what they wanted to do with it. They're like, we want this for teachers to be able to work in 3D with their students if they want. And I was like, oh, are you designing games? Are you doing sculpting? Like, what's going on? And they didn't have a great answer yet. It seems like they were sort of figuring it out. I should actually visit them again or call them and say like, hey, I wanna figure out sculpting or adjunct professor for you or something. I got to try out. Okay, so Google has Tilt Brush, which I tried at the Kutztown one, which cool plug. Kutztown has a really nice 3D lab that has a bunch of 3D printers and also a VR headset and just the whole business, everything you want right there in one place. And so there I tried Google Tilt Brush for the first time, and that was really fun. But it didn't have sculpting tools, which I was looking for. And they showed me some other programs. They're like, this is sculpting, and it was still sort of just objects intersecting with each other, and the geometry didn't really like, it didn't have topology like this, where if I pull on this, it like the vertices come together, and it was kind of just adding spheres together, and like that's not really sculpting. That's something else, something in between. I don't know, I'm not explaining myself super well, but Tilt Brush, you like draw paths and then it sort of extrudes flat things along the path or adds particles along the path. And that's how that works. When you hold down the trigger, you're drawing a Bezier curve in 3D, and then it does something along that curve. And what I'm actually looking for, I'll open up a recent project. What I'm actually looking for is Sculpting Tools in 3D, in VR, because we have it in 3D, that's just what Blender is. But a real sculpting tool, to me, works on a surface. And you can push and pull the surface with it still sticking to itself. Not just spheres intersecting, but if you can pinch and do stuff like this to it. So let's see, I want to get into sculpt mode, which I'm not just grabbing vertices and moving them around at this point. Even if I do sculpt draw, this will probably tax my computer completely. Why is that not working now? Strength up. What do I need? What do I need? Clay strips. Hello? Maybe I need the pen. Yeah, of course I'm trying to illustrate a point here. Nothing's working. But my question for how this would work in VR is currently the way this works on a computer screen. Like a mouse is a two-dimensional controller. A mouse is flat on the table and you're viewing it flat on a screen. And so what this does is it takes sort of the viewpoint of where the digital camera is that's just rendering this head right now, and then it draws a line through the mouse cursor onto this person's forehead that I'm sculpting, and that's where it applies the action. So my question for a VR space is, it would have to draw a line from your viewpoint inside the headset through the controller point, I guess, in also a 3D environment, and then onto the surface that you're sculpting, and then use the normal of the surface, use the angle of the surface to do whatever it's doing. I really wish sculpting would work right now. Am I on the wrong object or something? Click this one. Oh, I think I was maybe sculpting the eye. Yeah, okay, so here's what I'm talking about. So pen pressure decides how strong it is, but also it's just drawing a line through your view and onto this object, and then it's pushing the vertices out a little bit. If you have dynamic topology on, then it will also allow you to, Snake Hook is the one that does this, to grow more topology out of it really easily and smoothly, and then you can smooth it out, and like, great, now he has a weird thing. So that's fine, that can still work in VR, that's not really a question, but if you're actually sculpting with clay, you want a physical feedback. You want to push your thumb into the person's forehead to make a dent, or pick up more clay and push it on, or scrape it off if you're doing like all of those things, in my mind, would be difficult to do in 3D well, or in VR well. I don't know. I'm never going to get this back in. I'm just going to have to not save it. But I think that would be missing. And so just floating your hand in the air, it would always feel like airbrushing, or it would just feel like you're not quite touching it. And that's the whole point of VR. I guess physical feedback is something we're still trying to work on, but I don't quite see it. It might work. It might work rather than drawing a line from the viewpoint through the cursor onto the surface, if you had kind of a sphere of influence, which is what this feels like. When you go and try to touch something, it feels like you're just on the surface. So I think that would be the more satisfying way to do it. If you clicked right here, it wouldn't work. And if you were just too far away and clicking 6 inches from your face and not really close to the thing, I don't think it should affect it. And then the strength could be something like how hard you pull the trigger, or it could be similar to proportional editing. Just the closer to the center of that circle you are, the harder it is. Or in this case, it's a curve. You can draw out. The center of the circle is very strong, and then it tapers off in that way, and you can add more points to do something crazy like this, and then you get, I mean, that's not a great brush to really show it, but you get a little bit of a target area here. So some kind of curve like this would probably work out well. I don't know. It's an ongoing thing. It's an ongoing discussion that a lot of people are trying to figure out, smarter than me. Visit Sheridan. They have a new lab with 5 really good Ultimakers. Professor Dave Rogers. Sheridan. That's another building there besides the library, I think. So yeah, if I ever take a 40-minute drive down to Kutztown, I wish I lived closer, because it's a bit of a hike to get there, but that would be fun to check out again. So back to BoJack. I got on a huge tangent here. But I'm playing to the audience, you know. You gotta keep it interesting. So let's see. Now maybe I shouldn't have rotated the TV first. Let's get the cursor back over here. Cursor to selected, and then I'll just add a new cube, and this is going to be the entertainment center underneath. So maybe grab this top one and just put it down. Not sure if this is actually on the floor. It seems like it's not. So that's about right. And then get both of these in scale X. Look at the reference. Whoa, why? What did I do? What did I do here? The camera is up above somewhere now. But it's not. The camera's right there. If I hit 0, why does it do that? Object as camera up here? What is object as camera? I've never seen that. I did something to Blender. I just want to see my reference image. That's all I want right now. If I zoom in, okay. So it has, like a flat top that seems like it doesn't go all the way to the corner, and then kind of 3 major sections, and kind of 2 sections. All right, so let's see. What do I want to do here? I think first I'll grab this top rectangle and just duplicate it straight up. And then that'll be sort of the top part. And then I'll cut 2 edge loops here. Kind of scale Y, scale them out a little bit. Yeah, it's a lot wider in the middle. Scale them out even further than that. And then grab this face and extrude it up a little bit. I should just open up another window here. And then if I just inset each of those, it looks like maybe this one isn't really inset, or it's inset from the edge but not extruded down in. So go back over here, and I'll do these 3 first. If I just do I, does it do what I want? Not really. Is there an option for this? Depth, outset, boundary, individual, I again. Okay, there we go. So if I just do something like that, I'm just gonna eyeball this drawer. Nobody's paying that close attention. And then 1, 2, 3, extrude in just a little bit. Hold shift to get it nicer. Okay, and then this one, extrude down just a little bit. And I'll fill the face. F, did it do it? That still doesn't seem fit. Why can I see through this? Oh, the normals are wrong. Okay, now I can't see through it. Excellent. So, am I done with this? I should make it a little less wide on the top. That was something that I noticed. Scale Y, boom. And then they'll need 2 different materials. And then the TV needs to actually be on it. So if I go to the top view, oh, my top view screwed up. Okay, here we go. So it looks too big from this point of view, but it looks too small from just my gut feeling here. I don't know, maybe it does look too big now that I'm way out here. Compared to the couch, I guess that's plausible. That looks normal. The TV might be a little high now. Actually place it on there. And then let's add some kind of base to this. Get into edit mode. I really screwed up the view. I need to figure this out. Shift A, let's just get a circle and place it somewhere down. These walls. Just need to figure out a way to get the walls out. See, the problem, it's one thing to just turn on backface culling and then the walls won't be visible anymore. But the walls have a thickness, so backface culling doesn't really work out anymore. And how big should this be? Something like that. Extrude. Is that extruding? Oh, I have like an actual circle. I just want... No, it's a circle mesh. I did do that right. Why does extrude not work right? Extrude just moves it. Extrude region and move. Okay. So I'll try cylinder. There we go. It's probably a better start anyway. And put it down, just so it's touching the table, and then get the top. Scale that in a bunch. And let's get something like this. Doing all right here. And move that one just back. How we doing? It's not great, but it'll work. It looks plausible. Kind of looks like it's part of the table. The Idea Lab. I think that's what it was called last time I was there. Maybe I'm misremembering. I do want to fix this. I grab all of these. Is that something? There we go. Yeah, that looks better, I think. So if I go back to the camera view, I don't want object as camera. Why does it keep doing that? User ortho 0. Did I hit like Control Alt 0 or something? Maybe if I select the camera and then hit 0, it still goes to that object as camera. Why? I don't understand. What happens if I render it? Probably should have saved. Oh, I did save. My subconscious Command S skills really kicked in there. And my coffee's cold. That's disgusting. Let's see. Blender, camera as object. How do I get rid of this? Oh, I accidentally set object as camera. How do I undo this? Yes, please. But in cycles, when I pushed F12, I got only this. When I click 0, it does something weird. Okay, you have two options. Set the camera back to the active camera. Okay, that's easy enough. Yeah, this is... so set active camera? Yeah, duh. I want the camera to be the active camera. Okay, so things are lining up. Not quite, but close. And save it again so I don't have to do that again. Loading fabric.jpg. Maybe I should write myself a little to-do list here so I can kind of stay on task and get through this in an orderly fashion. Those shadows are super long and dramatic. Even with the higher sun, I don't know if I want to just tilt the HDR. That might have some unintended side effects, but that still looks a little weird to me. Maybe with a better texture on the floor. This is kind of just a generic texture right now. But it at least looks a little bit like a room. Considering the small amount of time that I put into this, I'm actually thinking it's on track. So, okay, before I wrap up, let's put in a text editor, and I'll just set up a to-do list here. New, to-do, all right. So the main thing that I want to do next, model chair, model the windows, which might mean I need to like apply this Archimesh thing so that I can edit it directly, because forming the windows with this stuff, I can either do the math and do it right with Archimesh, or I can just break it apart and kind of model it myself. I still need to model like the handles and curtains and that stuff. So I think modeling the bar is the next biggest thing, because that's a part of the room that's not really accounted for right now. All I have is a wall over there, and what I really want is a separate kitchen. I can start downloading kitchen models and stuff, because the end result of what I really want is not the current camera perspective, but if I Shift D, move it over here, what I actually want is something a little bit more like this. I'm in the wrong camera. Can I just switch it? No. I don't know how to change the camera. But what I actually want is something a little bit more over here that would show a little bit of the kitchen and a little bit of the chair and a little bit of the patio. Like I was saying about putting something, putting an image behind a green screen person, I would want it to be the best cross section of the house. A little bit of the couch and windows and just a lot of depth, a lot of interest going on there, because this perspective is a little bit flat to me. So modeling the kitchen, starting to get those lights in and maybe the fridge and some cabinets, that would be a big help to that. So how long have I been going on? I'm feeling like it's about time to wrap it up. The one in Sheridan is brand new. Steamworks was the one I've been to. Idea Lab in Sheridan has a Landis letterpress. I don't even know what that is. A bunch of 3D scan. Ooh, bunch of 3D scanners. That's interesting. I don't quite. Oh, a 3D scanner like you build something in clay and then it does the cross section stuff, because that sounds cool. I'm thinking you can take a million pictures of something and whatever it's called, like photo scan, kind of reconstruct it. But an actual 3D scanner, that does sound fun. I might need to do that. Oh, I've been on for an hour. Perfect time to wrap it up. But thanks, Bruce, for hanging out and telling me about that. I am actually pretty intrigued, and I will try to make it down to Idea Lab in Sheridan. If you've been paying attention on the channel, I'm doing vlog every day in May, so I will definitely make a vlog about that and show it off and put it up here. So watch out for that. I'll see if you're in town on that day. I'll try to meet up with you. So I might try to do a couple more of these, whether or not anyone besides Bruce cares. Just try to build a little bit of an audience here. If I find out it's not really working out, whatever, I'll stop it. No harm done. But thanks for watching. See you next time.